Hello everyone, my name is Yufeng. I'm a principal field solution architect at 퓨어스토리지. My focus area is data science, so anything around big data, AI, machine learning. I help my customers and partners build these solutions, hopefully on top of a 퓨어스토리지 product. So today I'm going to talk about why you may want to consider data analytics and AI with 퓨어스토리지. Here is today's agenda. I'm briefly going to talk about the technology trend we see across APJ in data analytics and AI, and followed by why people are doing data analytics and AI with 퓨어스토리지. What's the benefit of doing that with Pure? I will also show you some case studies we see in this area and summarize the presentation after that. So, as data keeps growing, the system for data analytics and AI becomes bigger and bigger, and also complicated and more expensive. People are using much bigger infrastructures and a lot of different software for that, which is quite expensive. And because of the complexity, it sometimes leads to slow performance and of course low business value. Now, to address these challenges, the biggest trend we see in this area is to separate your compute and storage. Why people are doing that? People are actually learning from the way cloud is doing analytics and AI. So that gives you, even on-premise, that gives you flexibility to scale independently for your compute and storage like a service, and makes it very easy and quickly to deploy, operate, and scale. And of course, help you save long-term cost. Now, to separate your compute and the storage, the technology trend we see is these four. The first, we saw a lot of people using S3 as the true open data lake, because S3 is just so easy to use, to operate, and scale. It's so simple. And people use S3, even on-premise, as the single source of truth for big data and AI. Once you have your data in S3 and store it as an open format, now you have the flexibility to choose your favorite data warehouse to do advanced and SQL analytics on top of that. And these days, people are talking about lakehouse, which we will talk a little bit more later, but it's basically trying to combine both data lake and data warehouse into a single system to support both big data, ETL, SQL, and AI workloads together. And we see a lot of people using or started to using Kubernetes in this area, because by using Kubernetes, it's really become the key for as a service architecture in big data and AI. It helps us share and isolate cluster resource across all the applications very easily and efficiently, and also help us streamline operational wise with standard Kubernetes API. So literally, you can just run a single command to deploy a data and AI system in Kubernetes. And regarding AI, of course, I suppose everyone has heard about ChatGPT, and along with this trend, AI are becoming bigger and bigger. So we see a lot of customers and organizations started to train AI models across multiple GPU servers. So that becomes distributed AI. Now we talk about the trends and challenges in data analytics and AI. What Pure does, how Pure is different from our others. So here's our solution for AI and data. We try to consolidate and accelerate a data and AI infrastructure together. So three key solutions here. Number one, we have AI-ready infrastructure to help you quickly start your infrastructure for building a large-scale AI system. And of course, AI only becomes smart if you give it enough and good data. For that, we have high-performance object storage for building a data lake or data lake house on that to enable organizations to fast do data exploration and simple drive value from data and get ready to build AI. A lot of customers, in this case, consider cybersecurity as one of the key use cases for data and AI. So as Pure, we provide the data storage foundation for cybersecurity. So that you can focus on instance analysis, anomaly detection, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time managing IT. Let's take a deep look at that. So first, AI-ready infrastructure, or IRI. This is our joint solution with NVIDIA. Why we did this? Because we realized a lot of organizations, they spend weeks or even months trying to deploy AI infrastructure properly for their AI project, and only after that they found it's very difficult to operate and scale. So that's why we want to help. IRI simplifies AI infrastructure deployment. It gives you the capability to fast deploy and scale your AI infrastructure. And in an IRI configuration, we of course have the DGX GPU servers from NVIDIA, and we have very fast storage from either NVIDIA or Cisco. And of course, we have our FlashBlade, unified fast file and object storage for storing all your data for your AI project. So what is FlashBlade? Why FlashBlade in this configuration? FlashBlade is designed by Pure to address a rich set of modern applications. We have a lot of solutions built on top of FlashBlade. Related to AI, we got these three in the middle. Of course, you can run AI training and deployments using PyTorch or TensorFlow together with NVIDIA GPU servers. And as I said before, for AI, we need a lot of data. That's why we have modern analytics. So people can run things like Apache Spark, Dream.io, Chino, Vertica, and a lot of other big data analytics softwares with FlashBlade. And of course, these days, almost all these applications for big data and AI runs in a Kubernetes cluster. So we also have solution with that. Now, I consider the benefit for big data and AI with FlashBlade is these four key benefits. This is why customers do analytics and AI with Pure. Number one, consolidate. It's not just consolidates the data capacity, but also your different data and AI workload, so that you don't have to build multiple silos. Number two, accelerate. We accelerate both your big data and AI applications in a single platform. And more on that. Number three, we simplify everything for your big data and AI system. We simplify deployment, operations, upgrade, and scale, and more. For example, I talked to a lot of big data customers. They use things like Apache Hadoop or HDFS as their data lake. When they try to upgrade a data lake with that, they typically take weeks or even months for planning and testing, and eventually, carefully, hopefully don't get missed, to upgrade the data lake. It's very troublesome, very complicated. Well, with FlashBlade, all upgrade is online, it's non-disruptive. I did some benchmark 2 years ago. I was running the benchmark, and I said to my support, say, hey, please upgrade my FlashBlade to the next version. They did that where I'm running the benchmark. 30 minutes later, all is done, non-disruptive. It's that easy and simple to use our FlashBlade for big data and AI. And of course, number four, evergreen. Every 퓨어스토리지 product, we support evergreen for you, so you can always keep your software and hardware, the latest ones. So you can always upgrade software and hardware seamlessly. And of course, we also provide the flexibility to consume our technology. Whether you can go with CapEx or OpEx, it's really your choice. We can do that. So let's talk about consolidate a little bit more. Now, there are some numbers in this slide. It's based on a real project we just worked recently. The requirement is to provide a 10 petabyte HDFS data lake raw storage capacity. Okay, 10 petabyte raw HDFS capacity. That's because HDFS requires 3x replication to protect data loss from hardware failure. That's 10 petabytes translates to 3.3 petabytes usable capacity. And for that 3.3 petabyte usable, you only need from 2 or 3 FlashBlade chassis. Let's say if we can go with 2 chassis, that's 12 rack units. If you are going with this 10 petabytes with HDFS, building with server-based HDD approach, you are going to need about 40 servers to build up this 10 petabytes HDFS capacity. That's 80 RU. So FlashBlade 12 versus HDFS 80. That's 6x more efficient, more dense with FlashBlade than HDFS. And because of that consolidation, we help our customer reduce their data center footprint, cablings, ports, carbon emissions, and data center cost, and of course, TCOs. And we also give customers the flexibility to size and scale the compute and storage separately. If you need more capacity, just add a blade into FlashBlade. If you need more compute, just add a compute-only server into the system. So that's consolidation on capacity. But we don't stop that. We also consolidate workloads. We consolidate big data and AI workloads, so you don't have to run silos. To do that, we provide multiple protocols. NFS for AI workload, fast S3 for data lake workload. And we also provide performance to meet the requirements from this mixed workload. More on that. So this is FlashBlade at a glance. We talk about the power, how powerful it is, how fast it is. From a single FlashBlade chassis, we can do up to 30 gigabytes per second bandwidth. And we can scale and support up to 2 petabytes usable capacity per FlashBlade chassis. So that means we can also stack 10 chassis into a single system. So that means, for example, for 20 petabytes usable capacity, you only need 10 chassis, 52 rack units in your data center. That's really, really powerful, really, really high dense, and that helps saves a lot in your data center costs and TCOs. And everything is managed through Pure One, a cloud-based management service, so it's very easy to use. Let's talk about performance, how FlashBlade and Pure accelerates your big data and AI applications. Now back to the 10 petabytes or 3.3 usable projects we talked before. For the 2 FlashBlade chassis, a conservative estimation for S3 throughput is we can deliver 18.4 gigabytes per second. It's very conservative. We can go upper. Sometimes it depends on the workload, but I'm very confident we can go upper. And for NFS, you can go even faster. And in terms of latency, most of the time it's delivered at 2 to 3 millisecond latency for S3. When I talk this to some customers, especially those who are familiar with Amazon S3 or the object storage in the cloud, sometimes they say, hey, I don't believe it. How can it be possible? It is real. I did a lot of benchmark where I'm running the benchmark against FlashBlade S3. Most of the time the latency is like 2 to 3 milliseconds. If you think about the cloud object storage, most of the time they are like tens or even hundreds, over 100 milliseconds. That's how fast FlashBlade is. And this performance does not require any tuning. There's no tuning you can do from the FlashBlade. You don't need. So we provide this high performance for both your big data and AI workload in a mixed environment. So on a single platform, you can run mixed workload and get this performance. It's fast for both big and small files. Again, no tuning required. And this is very important. Think about if some storage, other vendors may say, hey, you know what, our storage can give you like 80 gigabytes per second for your AI workload. Well, that might be true, right? But what they don't tell you is that for getting that throughput or getting that performance, you're going to need a lot of tunings. You need to tune the block size, a lot of other tunings, especially for that workload, and maybe you can get that number. But once you do that, it's not going to deliver. It's not going to be fast for other workload. Maybe you tune for AI, then it's going to be very poor for big data, right? You cannot do that. You don't want to, have separate systems for different use cases and build silos. So you don't have to do that with FlashBlade. That's the beauty of FlashBlade. Now, at the end, as a vision, we want to help you consolidate and accelerate your data and AI infrastructure into a single system, so that whether you are doing ingestion, from ingestion to data preparation, to ETL, to SQL, to AI model training, to deployment, you can all run this in a single platform with Pure. For example, you can put all your data in FlashBlade as the single source of truth, and then run a single Kubernetes cluster on the right to do the compute. And of course, you can use GPU to accelerate your application, whether it's Spark for ETL or TensorFlow, PyTorch for machine learning. And of course, you can also use our Portworx. Portworx is an enterprise storage as a service for any Kubernetes application. It can run on any Kubernetes distribution anywhere. So that's our vision to help you consolidate and accelerate data and AI. We have already customers deployed this in production for several years. Later, I will share you some case study about that. Now, we also did some benchmark. This one, TPC-DS, is an industry standard benchmark for big data workload. So it's basically simulates a standard retaining organization data analytics use case by running 99 standard SQL queries using big data software. Now we compare running the software against FlashBlade S3 versus HDFS installed on local SSDs and Amazon S3 to measure the average execution time to complete all these 99 SQL queries. As you can see, FlashBlade S3 is slightly faster than HDFS running on local SSD. So I would say they are at the same performance. They are both much faster than Amazon S3, from 1.5x to several x for TPC-DS benchmark. We also did some other latency important benchmark. In that case, FlashBlade S3 could be over 100x faster than Amazon S3. What's more interesting is that when I add GPU into the benchmark, it becomes even faster. So you can see on the bottom right, that's the chart when we did this same benchmark but using Spark Rapids. Spark Rapids is a GPU accelerated version of Spark developed by NVIDIA. So with the blue chart, it's everything the same without GPU. With the green one, we just add 6, 8, 10 GPUs into the system and then run the same benchmark again. As you can see, by adding GPUs, the benchmark goes 4x even more faster compared to non-GPU benchmark. So that means the storage, FlashBlade S3, even you add more GPUs, doesn't slow down the system. It doesn't become the bottleneck. And if you give me throw in more compute CPUs or GPUs, we are confident it can run even faster. Now let's put everything in action. Here is an example of how we can build an open data lake house with Pure Storage. As I said before, a data lake house tries to combine the strengths of both data lake and data warehouse, and to support both big data ETL, SQL, and machine learning system in a single platform. This is exactly why customer wants FlashBlade as the data lake for this architecture. So we have all the data sitting in FlashBlade S3, in this case, as the data lake. Then we can run Jupyter or Spark in Kubernetes for ETL or some classic machine learning use case. And then we write the result back to FlashBlade S3 again, maybe in a Parquet format, and then we add things like data lake or Chino on top of the architecture to support the data lakehouse part. So there's no data copy or data movement in this scenario. You just deploy Chino and then it will pick up from the data output by Spark. And then you can do data lakehouse, the SQL or dashboard with that. And just like many other data warehouse, Chino also stores its data schema, which we call the metadata, into a relational database like PostgreSQL in this case. And of course, PostgreSQL requires a block storage as the storage backend for the database. This is where FlashArray, the SAN storage, comes in. And we are going to use PostWorks to automatically provision and manage the SAN volume for Postgre in this case. So of course, you can also deploy your data applications into the same Kubernetes cluster. As you can see, all the data are managed by either pure FlashBlade or FlashArray. And all your compute runs in a single Kubernetes cluster and consume the data through PostWorks. That's exactly what we talk about, consolidation and acceleration. And there's no vendor locking. Every software or technology we use here is open standard or open source software. And it's inexpensive because of the consolidation, acceleration we talked before. And it's very fast, it's simple, and it's cloud ready because Kubernetes and PostWorks can run anywhere, on-prem or in the cloud or hybrid. So with this, let's talk about, I'm going to share you 2 or 3 case studies. So the first one is Meta, formerly known as Facebook. So they were building this AI supercomputer, one of the fastest, biggest in the world at the time when they built this. And let's just show you some numbers. In this supercomputer, they were using over 6,000 GPU cards. That's a lot. And also over 200 petabytes storage combined. And most of those storage are provided by Pure Storage. That's a very large scale. If Pure can support empower Meta, we feel confident to support any other customers in the world. And why Meta chose Pure? A couple of reasons. Even that Pure is a little bit more expensive than our competitor in this case, they chose Pure for, I would say, 3 reasons. Number one, high density, as we talked before. At this scale, even companies like Meta, they need to think about how they can reduce the data center footprint and the cost. And because of the density we provide, that helps a lot for Meta. Number 2, power efficiency. Our array are very, very efficient in terms of power consumption. Because we use less power for the storage, customer can allocate more power to the GPUs. So that makes the GPUs more efficient, higher utilization of the GPU, which is very expensive for any AI at scale project. Number 3, they chose Pure is for the reliability. Our product is very reliable. For example, our product is, by the way, is all flash. We don't use any HDDs. Flash is much more reliable than HDD. And we don't just use SSD. We don't use SSD, in fact. We use direct flash. And we built our own software to manage the flash chips. So for example, I think in general, the industrial annual failure rate for SSD is about 1%. Our product is about a third of that. So it's about 0.3% annually failure rate. So that's very good. The other case study I'm going to share today is from an Asia cybersecurity service provider. So they built this service for detecting security issues and provide this to some government agencies in Asia. They have built this system based on Cloudera Hadoop, a legacy big data technology. And 2 or 3 years ago, they need to do a tech refresh. Of course, they consider just upgrading the Hadoop or Cloudera version to the latest one, but they realize it's not worth upgrading. They didn't see the value of paying a very expensive software license and upgrade to the latest software. And they also need to do some more advanced cybersecurity analytics using machine learning and deep learning. The current technology they used cannot do that. So that's why they came to 퓨어스토리지. What we propose is really a simple and fast data platform built with all the major 퓨어스토리지 products, including FlashArray for the data lake, FlashArray for database, and of course PowerWorks for providing all the data service to applications running in a Kubernetes cluster. And then they move all the software to open source and run everything in a single Kubernetes cluster. That is very important for this particular customer because it's such a small team that's managing all these systems. And one thing they really like us compared to our competitor is that we are not just there to selling the box. Right? We are not just there to selling the hardware. We are more like a trusted advisor for this customer. I personally spend a lot of time with the customer. I believe I built 7 or 8 workshops and delivered to the customer. I co-designed the system with the customer. So I'm happy customers see that as a benefit Pure can provide. So the benefit for the customer is, of course, a single, simple and fast data platform for everything they are doing and lower the TCOs dramatically. We did some estimation together with the customer, and the result is around $1 million they can save with us. And they also like they can do big data and AI results using very complicated technology like Hadoop. So this is what the system looks like. There's some other parts we didn't include. For example, data comes in through a Kafka cluster, which is also using 퓨어스토리지. And then they run a Spark job, Spark streaming job to basically join and correlate all the data from different, for example, network equipment logs and different data sources together and save those results into a FlashArray S3 bucket. So this is the one sitting at the bottom as the data lake, powered by FlashArray S3. And from there, they pick up the data using Trino and then do advanced SQL on top of that. Again, as I said before, Trino uses PostgreSQL to store its metadata, and that is backed by FlashArray for the database. And everything is provisioned automatically through PowerWorks, through all these applications running in the Kubernetes cluster. And the last piece, of course, is very important, is the AI ML part. So this customer also onboarded some new capabilities by using deep learning technology. So they run TensorFlow in the same Kubernetes cluster, and then they use NVIDIA DGX server to accelerate the training process. So as you can see, the customer, together with Pure, we build a simple, fast, and open data lake and data warehouse and machine learning system for the customer. So with this, I would like to summarize the solution we just presented today. So whenever you need a simple and fast data platform, FlashArray is there for you. It helps you consolidate your capacity and workload for both data, big data, analytics, and AI. It also accelerates this workload in a single platform with fast file and object storage capabilities. And it simplifies everything from deploy to operation, upgrade to scale. Everything is much easier with FlashArray. And we have Evergreen, so you can seamlessly upgrade your software and hardware and always subscribe to the future latest technologies and consume it with flexibility. So we talk a lot about FlashArray for big data and AI. Of course, we have more to offer. We have different platforms optimized for different needs of your business. And oftentimes I found out that organizations maximize their value from the data by using a combination of our portfolio. So please do contact us for more information. We are happy to talk to you. Thank you.